Toronto has been a different situation. In the press conference, it was pretty low energy. Aspas says, we just ran around the map for an hour and a half. We didn't show anything. Now it's time to show up and show out for MIBR. They're on the attack side of this pistol.
And there's no better map for them to potentially start on. Their icebox has been unbelievable. 5-0 in VCT Americas.
Kiko going to be challenged early, and Cortezia actually looks a little worse for wear. Backing up, giving some space. There's Penny already in front of a home crowd, delivering Patatek through the walls, able to find two. That leaves Verno and Shannon with it all to do.
Verno getting up top right now with the Sheriff. They're going to always want to press forward. They need to get a kill before they can even try to plant. But Verno's just going to get caught on the side.
Nats is just a little too clever for that. Patatek exits the round with 3. And EMEA's number 3 seed are off to the races.
Switching up the comp, but getting Penny on his original role. The jet that he was playing when he was with version 1 at Reykjavik years ago. And we have not seen him at a tier 1 level since then. It was a slow decline. He eventually joined up with G2 in Challengers in Americas, had a role swap, went away from the Duelist. They failed to ascend that year. And then after that, you know, just posting, I want to go back to the Duelist. I need to prove myself again. And for 2 years since has been competing in Challengers, has been one of the underrated best duelists there, in my opinion. And it's so cool to see him get this opportunity again. He has been grinding for something like this.
Playing under such a reliable champion IGL. It'll be Penny and Nats over here on the B site early. Nats has a feel for this timing, so going to cut off access to that far side of yellow, but Aspas has already dug Nats out. It's an IGL down. And behind this controller, Util, they're going to go for a plant, but Penny tries to stand his ground. He's overrun. Kiko, at least, through this gap, found a second through the wall as well. And that gives Team Liquid a real staging ground for a retake. Aspas will be allowed to plant.
A couple guns actually recovered for MIBR, giving them additional opportunity. Guardian for Aspas.
They're lining up. Oh, it doesn't matter. Patatek a little sharper in that instance. And Genom, one of the quietest rookies on this MIBR squad in their debut here in Toronto, has to solve this problem. Camo's waiting for him to come around the corner. That's an anti-eco converted for Liquid.
Listen, that is, of course, just an eco run from MIBR, but I'd like to see, and perhaps I don't want to read this as an early indicator, oversell it, but I like that they've scaled into that site together so fast. Artson was getting really proactive, swinging deep so people could trade off of him. Again, early days, but I do find that juxtaposed to the game against Gen G, where they were slow to go for trades, so fearful to swing for each other.
Penny is taking a very sort of conservative approach to this round, perhaps wanting to get that op in hand as soon as possible, get rolling on this defense side. Orb denied here by the snake bite, so Team Liquid have to respect it. Aspas has already started to inch forward in the jail direction.
That's your very standard Util early. There we go from Cortezia. Patatek punished for the jump up, and now Jern going to get additional info towards the site. Would love to force Camo off this angle with the Outlaw.
Camo giving another option just to fall off those op lines. Outlaw in hand in this round though. Snakebite here to try and canvas the point, but it's Camo down already. It's the Outlaw. Of the game, Code thrown up by Kiko, hoping to make some use of it, but Aspas is ready to fight him in this site. Team Liquid have been denied, and all their good guns have been knocked out of their hands.
The critical reason of why MIBR have had so much success on this Icebox map is how well they play around the harbor.
Aspas blindsided by Nats' emergence from the Cove, but all things considered, a pretty clean play against the bonus round by MIBR.
In addition to the round win, that's going to get Artzin just one orb away from a very early reckoning, which could be absolutely pivotal to winning against Team Liquid, who are about to be on their first buy. Send him on to the
We saw BLG's Rushia on this exact map not long ago, being able to chain multiple of those reckonings together in one half.
Already look at this, the energy is different for MIBR right now. Standing up is Artzin, their IGL, having a lot more life than he did against Gen G.
He felt like he was countered entirely by that Gen G roster, could not show what he was capable of either. It's a clean slate, it's a new day for MIBR. And of course, survival here in Toronto is on the line. Can't afford to make any more mistakes.
There it is. Behind that high tide, Artin is able to get the orb safely. Drone going deep. Penny wants to reach inside. Doubled up with pad attack. Here comes that ultimate.
Aspas goes up to 410 as well, looking for a bit of an angle around, but Penny dealt with Cortezia pretty comfortably. Through the wall, wrap around the corner, it's going to be Verno Artazine, and Aspas have a crossfire, and that was clinical deconstruction of Liquid's defense here. Camo's on the outside looking in, and he'll be pursued by young Verno. And brought down.
That is a Team Liquid who opt to try to anchor the site, fully stack it up with as many players as they can, but they're staring down the Reckoning. It disrupts their position, and the executes from MIBR on this map are way too clean. Look at Aspas, they're getting top left on screens, able to punish the swinging players towards Gen. I love that. So well played.
And what a timely round to have that Reckoning available. Energy much higher here. We had a press conference, like, hey, it was the most glum display I've seen from this MIBR team. Felt like they weren't able to, I think the most disappointing part for them outside the losses, they couldn't show what they'd already been able to do over in Americas. These guys blew our mind when they first hit the stage out there. Rectified, so round 5 of Icebox beckons with Team Liquid on a bit of an awkward one.
And this team respects Penny so much that they've got him on the duelist, on his primary role over Camo right now.
Frees up Camo to play the more aggressive, sort of util-focused agents. Just like in theory, the chamber. But MIBR, look at how they dissect, break up this A side. Yes, it's against Sheriffs and Pistols, but we saw that in the gun round as well.
One enemy remaining.
Keiko lit up there. All too easy. This one should pass to that event. Nat's hoping for something on the backside here. Cortezia, one of the highest rated players in Americas after his first couple of weeks of play. This guy can shoot heads.
His headshot percentage is always outrageous. That's what people were looking at when he was coming into Americas for the first time this year. He is never getting spray kills, always tapping players down. But Team Liquid on this round, they're going to have some quality ultimates to potentially play for the retake with that Hunter's Fury, Reckoning being one orb away. MIBR are so good at slamming this A site. Their executes are world-class, as good as it gets. Anchoring is an absolute nightmare. Team Liquid could certainly just want to get out and wait for that spike to be tapped, then get back in with this, Hunter's Fury, disrupt the plant.
Aspas has an encounter with Penny earlier there. The latter sort of respects it, ducks out of the range of those knives, and Shannon has already managed to get so far forward. And bear in mind, not a Killjoy setup for Liquid, so they can't just stick a turret here and watch for this push-up kitchen. This could be a problem for the defenders.
Shannon has got into a great position, and MIBR are going to peel away from that A side, given that he's all the way up here. But Nats, oh, he catches Shannon. Will he expect Cortezia, though, who has also worked up tube? Double lurk going through. Oh, timing just a bit off.
Spotted out. This hasn't really dissuaded MIBR from drifting over in the B direction to play behind his Viper wall.
Team Liquid, however, they are aware the wall is going to come up. Recon clears out back yellow, so Aspas knows he's safe to move forward. High tide there, rather, is going to cut things off. Hunter's Fury disrupting.
Encounter in tube, definitely brewing. Without the Viper, of course, MIBR can still make use of the harbor wall to get in here. Kiko is down. Nats fighting in the side. Glancing blow from that Blade Storm. Still wants to challenge Aspas and rips him a new one. Artazine a little on the lower side as Penny's been able to pluck Verno out of formation. So MIBR down to the youngsters. That's Cortezia in a 1 versus 4. Panatek spotted playing out in the open. Penny has the spacing to swing off of it. And TL keep this one at a simmer. Early encounter over at A. But the play up mid for MIBR doesn't play off. There's just such insane game sense there for Nats to go hunting.
Yeah, that's well done by him to get this opening. And then they use the Hunter's Fury exactly as you want to be using it on this map. Disrupting when the spike was going down. The players had already been rotating towards B. Gives opportunity to find kills. And Cortezia at the end can only isolate one. Has to swing into a high-low while the spike is being diffused. MIBR, obviously at this point though, their economy is so strong, winning a number of near-flawless rounds in a row before that prior. And now lockdown plus a Reckoning to try and keep this momentum going. Break the Team Liquid economy for a one tag.
And attack in danger. Verno converts it. That had to be a rendezvous there from Camo up to Rafter. He's able to avoid that third shot of damage, but now the reckoning comes in because Artizane's had them rolling, and that's forced TL out of the site.
This site should be taken for free. This spike should be going down for free, and then they have the lockdown after the fact. Counter Reckoning. Team Liquid, they want to go in fast at the moment, but they're denied by that Molly temporarily.
They respect it. Now going to make the win through Rafters. MIBR have the hot foot. They've got to keep moving. Asbusters can't connect the shot as Artizane on 410 now. Nats will show himself in theory. Just in time, Artizane can connect. Verno and Shenum now have to lock it down. Camo low in the back corner. And it's on Verno. Newest addition to MIBR. Keiko got it to half. One bullet in the chamber. It's not enough. Keiko able to finish him off. Complete the defuse, and that's 2 in a row for TL.
That looked damn close, that one bullet tap. Barely for TL. I like the haste that they were able to get back into the site with the Reckoning. Again, using it at the right time, these ultimates to flood and disrupt, rather than trying to anchor against the tsunami of utility that MIBR are going to throw at you. Unfortunately, I believe Cortesia just got entrenched pretty deep in the site there. There was a multi-kill from Camo off that drop down, so there wasn't a real opportunity to get the lockdown in on the post plant.
But the retakes look interesting for TL because they don't have flashes in this comp. The Reckoning is a great way to get in, unsettle the team currently holding the site, but after that you've got a contact.
Yeah, and they're basically going to have to hope that the cascades coming out from their harbor will cover up the angles. That'll allow them to get out without having to flash through. MIBR 5-stack today again. They just love hitting this site, and why not? They are very good at it, and they've got the lockdown to free things up. What a shot from Kiko. Able to drop off, get man advantage to play for retake again.
And MIBR, well, they've got the lockdown in, that's fine. Once more, TL respect it. Looking to retake now with a player advantage. Flashes or no, they're going to be favored.
Pretty unique plant spot from Artzin. Doesn't actually have to use the code for any level of safety. Cascade to assist Shenum, who's playing so far forward.
Don't get in my way.
Covered off the push into screens. Here comes a Viper's Pit from the back of the site, in theory to give TL a way in. Artizane, he's got Camo dead to rights. That was Shenum. Able to find him, and Kiko now needs to find a time to get out of this pit, but it has been rough. You can see TL don't necessarily have the tools to break in now without the Reckoning.
MIBR desperately needed this Shenum. He couldn't get anything started against Gen G, was not able to win out duels, but here in that pressed up position, being supported by additional utility from his Harbor IGL, capitalizes. That's just a great multi-kill. You have Cortesia aware of that flank, had a read on pay right there, catches him out with a lovely headshot too. This is the rookies of MIBR hitting mechanically. We knew they could. Were they going to under the pressure, under the bright lights, and so far they're stepping up.
Whatever's happened in the last couple of days has allowed MIBR to be more themselves here. TL, a Viper's Pit to try and get into that A side was uncomfortable. Now already they're looking to stack this B side. They've been knocked down to just a hero rifle for Kiko. Cascade up to give MIBR a little bit of a base of operations on the B side, but they're not convinced.
Team Liquid have got 4 players here, plus Kiko, deep down mid. So MIBR, they are pretty straightforward when it comes to this attack map, so why not stack? Recon instantly broken. Obviously, Team Liquid, not the greatest weapons, actually spam through.
And they're inside the side. This is exactly what MIBR wanted. Trap them in with a high tide. Reckoning for Kiko. No plant yet, 48 seconds in the round. Penny's going to drop down and get the better of Verno. Kiko, swing, it's good. Shenum dealt with. Cortesia can't hold. And a MasterCard thrifty here for TL. Behind that Reckoning, it's an ultimate that's really dictated this game so far.
That is flattening for MIBR. Kiko is turning up right now. Such a small angle. I love this from MIBR. Look at this proactivity, the swinging together. But it's CL players, specifically Kiko, even then getting that opening kill, wrapping around site, catches the Shenum.
Woo! That hero rifle in Kiko's hands ultimately unraffles MIBR, but Penny in midair dropping down from Crows. That's pretty nice too.
Commitment from TL to fully stack, investment into the operator for Penny, one of the OG great offers of the NA Valorant scene.
Verno plays off of that dart yet again. Another Hunter's Fury deals with the Harbor. That's some stall util now, taken off the table for Liquid.
If MIBR have one rookie that has had no fear, even against Genji, it has been Verno. He is stepping up at the moment. These Hunter's Furies have been absolutely lethal, and it's allowing MIBR to slow the game down with that early man advantage, keeping Shunnum posted up towards A, inserted, while the rest of the team can pivot towards B. Team Liquid, they have an idea that this is likely happening right now after the noise cut. You can see multiple players at the top of the minimap on their way. They want to get to B early.
The alarm bot placement suggests they might not be staying here. Yeah. Send a cascade, pull out, make use of the inserted Shenum over at the A side of the map. Working the map a lot, but we're running low on time.
The real hope here for TL is that Penny will be able to catch a player, perhaps on the cross.
How's he going to get in though with this high tide?
30 seconds left.
Yeah, there's just no way. I mean, does he try to go in front of it? He's
in.
going to get stunned up by the Reckoning.
How's he supposed to hold an offline in the Reckoning? It's not possible.
Welcome to my
Just has to play
world.
safe. Spike is going to go down.
Oh no! Off the screens, Asmas had an opportunity. Camo chunked low, but no finish. Back into the pit he goes. MIBR taking a more defensive stance now inside this Viper ult. Panatek has found Verno right at the back at Belts. Camo's going in. He's low enough as it is. It's all the same to him if he decays someone to try and take this fight. Nanoswarm on the spike location itself. Camo down, but he was low. Artazine being pressured now. Another one from Panatek from long range, and there's Nats. He's in the thick of it. Decay down, and now the pit is gone. Genum's able to find Panatek, but that's not nearly enough. A brilliant retake from TL. Again, multiple controller ultimates to fight through. They get their 6th.
Their retakes on A have gotten them in this 6-4 lead. They have been so good in those situations. That felt, frankly, unwinnable and should have been. The Reckoning into the Viper's pit to get the site for free. Spike down. They're in a 5 versus 4. That was a great first kill. MIBR was playing some pretty passive positions, and that does allow Team Liquid to get forward, get up top, and then drop into the pit together. But even still,
we cannot retake that ult ever. And we come now, we retake that.
I mean, absolutely.
Team Liquid were able to take advantage of that. Operator still in the hands of Penny, and interestingly, it's with 3 other players towards A. I mean, it's super typical. You'll have the op here do something like watch B main while there's an A stack. So they want to just get proactive behind it, post up with multiple players who, yeah, they do. They've got Camo watching Belt, but Osboss, top tube. Nats could be under a lot of pressure.
Got Dizzy as well, might swing at the same time. Nats is overwhelmed. There's not much he can do. It's a verified high-low setup thrown out there by MIBR, and Kiko lingers too long in mid. Genum's starting to gobble him up now.
That's a beautiful bait and switch. Look at the attention that Osboss drew up there. Crosshairs so high up, and then the swing from Shenum through window. That was beautiful.
Overloading mid. Now MIBR just retract. Get on out of that part of the map. This will allow Camo to re-clear, but he can only do it via raw contact. Not a great position to be in when you are down 2 versus 4. But he will confirm that MIBR have absconded off to B.
With both the Harbor and the Viper alive heading towards this B site, you know, even if Penny were playing a position like back Snowman perhaps, there's just never going to be an angle to actually get a kill here with the Operator.
Camo made the right choice coming to this site. Penny now going to make his rotate through as they've confirmed it, but Artazine sticks the plant. Now MIBR arrange themselves over around green and yellow. Camo hopes to show him the red light, but there is not a lot to see.
Ultimately, this is just a must-save situation for Team Liquid. They've been taking a bit too much damage on these rounds, still losing 3 on the prior, so they want to carry that op over for the final one.
And despite these back and forth rounds, MIBR's economy has largely remained intact. They've been able to continue to buy full loadouts, whereas Liquid have had to mix in a thrifty round to win that out. A couple of these weaker buys, and they're game planning for a similar situation now with this 2-gun save. Not yet. MIBR have made this a real competitive half on their best map, making it difficult for TL to put them down.
Getting the 6th round feels more important for MIBR here than it does for Team Liquid when you're on this attack half. This was so well played. Look at this from Shenum. Those players just entirely occupied with Osboss. Look at the crosshair there.
That needs like those free solo forearms to make that kind of correction from low to high. It's not happening.
Last opportunity for a round. Only one ultimate likely going to be used in this round, which is Panatek. So we've seen Team Liquid be really excellent in the situations where they have ults to disrupt the plants, get back in.
Penny wants to play forward with the op again. Cascade, he actually pushes it. Aspas up to jail, which is normally where he heads early in these rounds. Penny wants to linger, at least for the duration of that tailwind. Penny now is going to be here for the long haul as it stands, and Artazine walks into his line.
Spike down.
That's a spike drop too.
That information is crucial. MIBR, they like going for this double lurk with both their Viper and the KJ. Working mid. Oh, where?
Oh man. Cortezia was hoping at least to be able to help from window should it be required, but didn't expect Kiko to be in kitchen as well. Big mid presence this round for TL, maybe a response to what we just saw from MIBR. But a stunning start for the EMEA squad.
They really are aware as to how MIBR love to play this area of the map. There's multiple lurks. Kiko is on one right now. The aim is just stunning in this first half.
Will you look at that? We're all still alive.
He's laying it on thick, folks. Great mid presence there for TL. Thwarts another attempt of MIBR to thrust into that part of the map. And 7 defense side rounds. It starts here with Penny pushing up, taking that shot on Artazine, getting the spike loose.
Penny has done a nice job so far. First game on the chat with this team is classic agent, and he's showing up. Kiko has been fantastic as well.
Quick break here at halftime, and Icebox has been competitive so far, but Liquid have to lead by 2. We'll see you in just a moment.
BR, they would love to make that 1-to-1 as far as pistol rounds goes to open things up.
It's been Kiko's individual play, and that's his mid-rounding that has really gotten TL ahead of MIBR so far, but on the pistol, second half. This will see MIBR defend. And TL have that characteristic B-side group early. With a quick ping on Artazine via the Aldrone.
Aspas still has that dash available, wants to take a duel back yellow, be able to escape and then double up, maybe play a little cross with Artazine right now.
But if Artazine gets overwhelmed, Aspas doesn't have a safe retreat angle. He'll have to stay. Off the line, he gets pushed into the cloudburst. Aspas, okay, realizes Penny's there. One shot is good, but Penny emerges with a headshot immediately with a ghost. Cortezia has to get in here. The Panatek has slapped him back down to a paltry 8 points of health, and Kiko gets the plant.
These players are so weak right now for TL. Having to wade through a lot of that Viper utility. They were in some serious danger. Recon available for Verno, going to go back yellow. Can it be played off of effectively?
Shannon is walking up on this. He'll have 2 angles to watch, but Camo's made some noise, and it's an easy finish now to wrap around. He's going to try and do it all. Here's Verno, young gun. Not enough. Kiko continues his streak of dominance.
That has been a reign of terror from him on Icebox. His aim today, as sharp as ever. One of the most talented mechanical shooters coming from Europe. Putting on a show, both pistol rounds right now converted for the side of TL on MIBR's map pick, putting them in a really tough position. We know one of the keys to an MIBR victory when they're playing this map is defense, get the economy rolling, get the op in the hands of Aspas. That is always a win call.
So far, this has not played out. Artazine just flies a little bit too close to the sun there, and that's sends him out of the round early. The only player over at B, fairly far extended, so MIBR have to quickly get their ducks in a row for this underbought attempt and thwarting TL.
Walls going up, Cove getting thrown down for safety, and a very easy plant. Only one sheriff right now for Shenham, so should be a fairly simple cleanup for TL, who have heavily invested into this round. Look at the array of weaponry they have on a round 2 anti-eco. It's very important that they carry this all over for sure. But when they do, if they do, the bonus round is going to be looking deadly.
Yeah, they're in such a good spot and pretty confident that they're not about to lose these weapons. MIBR may well agree with them because there's been no further attempt from them to get into the game. Perhaps they don't really want to be feeding Kiko further because he's already over halfway towards that reckoning. Something that's going to make it ultra hard for MIBR, even on a rifle round, to adequately defend any of these sites. So they'll play the pacifist approach to the rest of this round. And this is now the most rounds that MIBR have conceded on this map compared to what they had in Americas.
In any VCT game,
Get out of my
Prior was only 8. It never happens where we need to see MIBR in a comeback position on Icebox. TL are looking fantastic with their IGL and one of the best players of all time. Nats back in the game with them. Goes without saying that this round is must-win for MIBR. Things would absolutely spiral out of control. TL would break their economy. This should be worth 2 for them if they can convert. And again, just look at how good this bonus round buy is.
Only 2 players with half armor on MIBR, so Nats' options for instant kills will be a little limited. Verno backs off. He does at least see either Nats or Camo here over towards that A side. And Nats almost anticipating a bit of a thrust forward by MIBR, but they are very much of a different mind. Falling back to the extremities of A. Maybe trying to get some mid control for Cortezia, but he doesn't ask for much. He's already got the turret watching it.
They've very much given up the B site, and they just have passive info gain with that alarm bot under tube, turret on boiler. Very prepared for this A hit, ready to absorb that. Multiple players back site, hoping to get that kill. Maybe go for the full retake if that's an opportunity they might have.
The high tide, Aspas gets ahead of it straight away. Cloudburst here for Penny to play, but Aspas is going to go over the top. Camo's down. Oh, it is!
What?
Vamos Aspasin! Massive 3-piece. Patatek and Keiko now have to pick up the pieces. And Aspas is still looking for more.
30 seconds.
He has come alive.
1 enemy remaining.
Verno will supplement his effort earlier on. 4 for Aspas. And MIBR come alive, not a moment too soon.
We've been waiting for a little bit, perhaps a little bit too long, to see the GOAT make a play like that in Toronto. What on earth was that snap to the player up top? You are joking.
More of that MIBR fans need to see. And again, very nonchalant approach for Aspas. He's been on these stages so many times before.
That is one of the most unbelievable spray transfers I have ever seen in this game. What the hell? I am absolutely stunned.
Nothing like a little pick-me-up for this beleaguered America squad. Trying to assert themselves on their map pick of Icebox. And he gets up on top of Tube early. Spotted the bow by that turret.
Really close to an engagement.
Cortezia might give them one, but is he aware of Nats shoved up here? Can't find the correction in time. Nats is going to ask for more. Verno eats the vulnerable and hopes to have an opportunity, but it does not present itself. Nats is out of there.
And all the while with that mid-action. Okay, Artzin does catch out Penny on the retreat. This is getting awkward. Nats is everywhere, taking duels.
Shenum, though, rarely expect that second player up Tube. MIB are also emphasizing their defensive efforts in mid.
Look at Aspas, he's on the long flank right now, but
There's a
Patatek aware.
Really spotted up by the trademark. Some sound made. Patatek, patient, waiting on this. Aspas!
You move.
Can't run back against the nasty spray transfer. Shenum through the wall. Timing hurts him though. Camo deals with him. And now to push up over towards Crows. This Verno didn't have a chance. Team Liquid take one big stride forward again.
Disgusting snap from Camo at the end. Nats doing the most in that round and doing what he has always done best. Those lurk timings he's finding. Being able to cross through that poison cloud, tucked into this corner. Cortezia not ready for that engagement. Pivots back to Tube, and all the while, he's also just distracting so heavily that off of the high tide Kiko throws into A, they go in and just get a nice free and easy plan.
We barely mentioned it, but there's a reckoning in play as well. Kiko's just been developing those round after round.
Blocking sight.
Full investment from MIBR right now. If Team Liquid win here, they get an opportunity to get to match point with a subsequent being and eco for the Brazilian team.
My ult's not
Position forward, cross here a little low though to capitalize. He has to get out as the spray comes in. He is unhurt though. Camo can clear this mid util and step back a bit. Again, 2 players trying to work Tube.
Camo is hoping someone goes for a reclear. He is daring them to face. Oh, pinged out.
Spray this one. Cortezia steps up. But Verno at least is able to complete the trade. At the moment, Shenum here starting to think about drifting back towards the epicenter of the action, which is Nats here with the Outlaw up Tube.
It is remarkable that Oh my
Oh,
god.
wide
Aspas
swing.
just facing into the open, gun down.
Kiko handles him comfortably, but there was another gun trained on Aspas anyway.
All right, high tide is going up. Counter high tide from
What is Nats doing?
Martin. Verno was trying to entrench himself into the site.
30 seconds
Blood is
left.
on the
How?
spiral.
How?
Oh no! Nats! He's in the walls! And now he's sat right up behind Artazine. This is absolutely going to put the pressure on. Nats breathing down the neck of our sophomore IGL.
Look at this. There is a long flank from Shenum coming around. He's just trying to ensure that he's not going to make too much noise, but the time is dwindling. Artazine just really wants someone to overextend and push towards him. It's not going to come. He's going to have to be the one to get proactive. One of these MIBR players needs to make noise for the other.
He's going for it. Spotted Kiko, though, can't handle him now. Eyes over towards Raft, and Nats challenges him. Gets destroyed. But elsewhere, Shenum was dealt with by Penny. And Artazine could not do more. This is now heading into a 4-alarm fire for MIBR. They've handed over Team Liquid their 11th round. And Liquid are just going up gear after gear.
Camo picked up, just cannot get away with even going 1-for-1 there. Aspas swinging out into the open, faces into multiple players. Really wants to be a hero in that situation. This attack side has been a Nats lurking masterclass.
And he's defying all of the assumptions that MIBR are making about the positioning of TL in the mid-round. They thought they're getting rid of,
National debut.
but it's not enough here on Icebox. Not by half.
He was getting multiple Hunter's Fury kills, though, in that first half, using them even early in rounds. Can he get another advantage for MIBR to try and convert off the back of that ultimate?
Verno, who was nonchalant like a second skin, is going to have to keep that composure as Aspas again goes down early without support and a wide swing into the attackers.
He's just out in the open, caught after the smoke drops. Pretty disastrous. Look at this force from MIBR. There's just two sheriffs. Artazine taking matters into his own hands. And now has a reckoning to play with. Rather, you know, he did already have it, but he will be able to fire that off when the execute comes in.
As far as stall utility goes, MIBR are well positioned, already having bought some time with that awkward situation for TL. They've recovered the spike and all dropped down. They might look to take multi-faces as they contact now into the A site. First challenge, we are Genom taken down Artazine. Genom's got to find the spacing off of it at least, but Camo's gotten in there. Team Liquid now starting to scrap for the site, and it's only Genom standing under rafters. It's not enough for MIBR, this awkward by light armors. They get blown apart.
They're playing so heavily to anchor with a Hunter's Fury and a Reckoning. They can pounce, or could have pounced on Team Liquid when they tried to go for the plant with those ults. But anchoring with the weaker weapons is their undoing, unless Cortesia can come up with a monster clutch. Team Liquid are on the precipice of match point. And for the first time in VCT will deal a loss to MIBR on Icebox.
Cortesia handled all too easily by Penny. Someone who also stood on the America stage for a time.
Yeah, at the beginning of the year was a sub for Brazil with Furia, gets them a win, and now, unfortunately, a sub about to deal them a loss on Icebox.
And one of only two Canadians will take the stage here at Masters Toronto.
No, we thought we were only getting one. We've got a second hometown hero.
That's a beautiful finish. Team Liquid have looked sublime on this map. It's been a lurking masterclass from Nats with amazing mid-rounding, and Kiko and Penny delivering where it counts. After the races now, Aspas wants to play forward once more. Blade Storm at the hand, but this time he has someone to play off him at least. Or does he? Oh, Artazine, not what you want to see.
And some serious danger on the run right now with Aspas, who has been eager to take duels on this A-side. Hunter's Fury coming through, Penny midair.
Artazine handled comfortably. Just one blade was enough to do it, but he had more where that came from. Another great Hunter's Fury from Verno, but it's not going to be enough. Now to side under full control of TL, and a fight this bit to make it that much harder for MIBR to get back in. It's now or never, boys.
High tide up right now, they're being delayed. Molly on to Camo, he's on the run, doesn't want to get shot down. Wall vulnerable up, MIBR, they're in backside. This is Team Liquid with more players, passive just in the pit, allowing MIBR to come to them. Pressure now on the spike.
Gives it a tap, draws the util out of TL, but there is still more. Panatek has two Shockies to play with. Shenum ducks in, sees very little, backs out. Recon bolt comes through. Penny has his head ripped off. Cortezia finds those shots.
Last player
And
standing.
on the spike is Verno. He's gotten it to half. Are they going to know he's going to be dead? They're too busy dealing with the Raz, but that's what a way to end it. A Red Bull clutch as he sprays through. And what a gut punch to MIBR, their best map this year. TL, no risk.
Back lurking. MIBR did not know how to deal with him whatsoever.
MIBR have won 0 pistol rounds here in Toronto. And for a team that wants to get their duelist rolling early, that is devastating.
They have gone back to the most vintage agents on this map. Gecko was just a staple for early sunset fight in elbow.
It's too early for them. The timing's off. They tried to throw a paranoia and play off of it, but Team Liquid were a second early for them. Shenum and Hardesine just got overwhelmed.
Spike
Man,
planted.
losing another pistol. Oh, so brutal. They just don't enter these games with any level of momentum, but you have Verno alive. He has been the player for MIBR, the unlikely hero. A lot of damage onto Serial. But with just 3, how can they get back in? You have Cortezia on that late flank, but there's so much delay from this dark cover now going up. And MIBR, they have nothing to really get through it. Maybe a recon.
You're kidding me! Oh man, inside the poison over drops and Nats is able to find just a stunning shot. Cortezia had no way to get on that wrap. And MIBR, it's one false step at the start of the round. They can't recover from it.
You said it, there was a mistiming with this early elbow fight. The relay ball coming out, Ardzin caught out here in the open position known. And then even being blinded up, Camo just dives onto Shenum with a real opportunity to get the kill. But the movement is just really tough for him to track. That is exactly why you run the Neon against Billy. Even though it was in a loss, Camo on that agent was really sick.
Okay, over to round 2. Team Liquid, just an exchange here in B main and paint shells drawn out of Aspas. But they saw so little that they are already out of that site.
He does have a Sheriff, the Brazilian star. That is the only light upgrade into this round. Verno, unfortunately, caught on the exit. Of course, only had a classic in hand anyhow. So this site is all too free for Team Liquid.
Cammed up the site. TL can still play that old school approach here to Sunset, falling back to B main, smoking it off, spamming the site. They have left Kiko in there. Cortezia has to step up here in market. Now it's a question of timing. The rest of his team are on the way to Boba. And Cortezia is just trying to dot his I's here, see if there's anyone in a backstab position in mid, but MIBR, no business trying to challenge this, and they're very much aware of it.
Nat's just happy to go hunting with this Ghost. And similar to Icebox after the pistol round was won on attack from Team Liquid, they invest very heavily into this round 2. There they didn't have a Ghost at all, actually, which is pretty typical. Here they do, but even still, double Bulldog, double Vandal. They have a real shot at winning this bonus round with the level of weaponry they've got. MIBR desperately need to stop the bleeding at this point.
Now, MIBR were able to win against the TL bonus on Icebox and actually made that first half look pretty competitive. It was a 7-5. But again, they've always had to play from a deficit. They've played from behind in every single map they've played here in Toronto. And that is going to take its toll. The fatigue is going to start to creep in. Frustration, I'm sure. This is an old school look for this map.
Yeah, this
is on the
is
Gecko.
Just the past. The old
Used to be
throw
like
the
Gecko
dizzy
Breach.
up
Yeah, have the
to get some
lineups.
info in main. But yes, this is the Breach nerf going away to the Sova is very relevant. Look at this hit from Camo all the way through Link off the fast lane. Relay bolt to press forward, but Aspas shuts him down.
Hardesine always dealt with Aspas, can't really help trade that kill. Patatek is in position, playing around this one way. Trapwire is also there, so MIBR don't have anywhere to go now. They're going to be pinched in this part of the map. They've got to fall back to Halls, ideally. Kiko wants to take the fight to Aspas, and yet he's back turned. 4-0 for Kiko. Again, dominant showing on Icebox. He has stepped up massively. And our Serial doesn't have to do a damn thing. Shenum is stuck here.
Team Liquid, they know it's definitely possible that a player is here. Shenum with the first.
Now it's a matter of numbers. Overwhelm that position ideally, but Shenum's able to TP away and still might look to take the fight. Cats Nation, do they have the answer? You'd better believe it. Verno and Cortezia grouped up in link now. One last crack at this. It's bonus round, too strong for them. Apparently Cortezia gets in though, through the cyber cage in the back of sight, gives it a tap. Verno decayed down, but healing up. Kiko steps out, wide swing from Human now. Nats has to clutch this away. Almost gets there, but it's your nonchalant King Verno that's able to get MIBR into the map.
Much like against Genji, Verno in the clutch. The hero of Brazil, an American Challengers player that made his debut in
What is it with
VCT
American
this year.
Challengers players in this series, huh?
The most unlikely of unlikely heroes for MIBR, for Brazil, for the best team that they've got in the scene right now.
Funny, he kind of threw people off in some of his press appearances early in Americas. This is more nonchalance, like didn't seem to care much. I think he was really misunderstood, and you see his like more low-key approach to the game means that he can get onto these high-pressure situations and actually shine, whereas the rest of his team have struggled in that regard.
Since joining, the vibes were so fun and always just felt so great for MIBR throughout their entire America's run. It's just only in Toronto here that we're seeing them, you know, a little bit more sad, I would say, with some of the results that they're having.
More
Pretty
sad.
dejected, some would say.
Glum, even.
Maybe putting it lightly there, but happy to convert against that bonus round strat that Team Liquid brought out.
It was costly, though. Look at the weapons at MIBR. Stinger, Bulldog mixed in with the Guardian. Shenam can't get value out of his weapon. Aspas is able to get away, and Camo took a pretty big hit in that exchange. The Dizzy going to create the spacing to get Aspas out properly.
Now being spotted out, Team Liquid still more than enough time to make a pivot. That dark cover to obscure anyone top mid who may have intentions of firing through, and now a noise cut as they go into market. Eventually they'll have to break this strip, give up the game. Low HP Camo, maybe he can make some space and can trade it off.
There it is, Cortezia, Seal with Panatek both go down. Nice little setup here.
Spike down.
Artesine,
30
Bulldog a
seconds
little bit
left.
wayward. Leaves Verno in a clutch position again, and he delivers against a true veteran.
Oh, clutching against one of the all-time clutch gods in Nats back-to-back. Caught jumping up, wanted to get that molly down so he could run forward, try to recover the spike.
And honestly, that's set up by this early engagement. Camo ends up going quite low. In fact, there are two players that die to a shock dart in this position, but Verno wants to fight instead of use that util.
Last player
Fighting forward, Artesine also with a decent timing through mid. Good collapse here.
Let's go.
That has got to feel good. That has got to feel vindicating.
Those are some great little turtle swings from Cortezia and Shenam in tandem. They're playing from market. Team Liquid on the bad buy. Hero rifle for Kiko, who's been arguably the sharpest shooter in this server. Perhaps inarguably, he was outrageous.
I mean, with Aspas minus 23 over 3 maps, it's hard to see that Kiko has much competition there. A warning shot for Artesine, and he'll have to get off the line as the relay bolts come in. This will allow TL to slowly scale up into halls, but Aspas has been brought over to A to bolster it.
Pivoting here, fast lane now, so Team Liquid can get out onto the site.
Camo wants to fight through this with a stinger. Good.
He could have seen the barrel, but it looked like he was so locked in on the dark cover.
Oh, that's awkward. Camo gets away with it. How? 3 players for MIBR here on Link, and they're going to go for it. Artesine the Herald gets on in there, but now Hunter's Fury comes straight through. Panatek trying to light them up as they get on in here. Serial going to be outdone by Cortezia and the Guardian. Artesine finally finds connection with that Outlaw. Nats's ghost though, too sharp. Kiko now gets that rifle in play.
Remaining.
Then he gets value. Found 2, leaving Panatek on his own. But he can hear the yells from the stage here. With every round MIBR put together, their confidence starts to build.
Their economy is being kept very honest by Team Liquid, but they are winning the rounds. That's what matters most. They'll be happy to have gotten one of those ultimates out with Panatek committing the Hunter's Fury, all for naught. They've done it again. Cortezia with that opening engagement. Serial late, biding his time, picked off. And they just scale in together nicely, trading things out with an advantage that they have. Well done.
And you've got a lot to retake with, right? You've got Boombot. That ends up putting that pressure on Camo, forces him out. You've got the Dizzy from Artesine, a lot of retake potential, so MIBR make the right choice, get off the A side early.
Now look at the state of the ultimates for MIBR, as Team Liquid are in this with their next full buy. Showstopper, Hunter's Fury. Very dangerous.
Both exits from mid are trapped.
Great shock dart. That's going to allow Camo to maybe push up as that top cover is getting cycled. Team Liquid, they do love to go for these deep wrap site executes using the Neon to get through, one of the other sides.
There's a timing. There's a timing from Verno here through spawn, spotted by Camo, who'll now get ahead of it into Boba.
Oh, I love this from MIBR trying to get control of B-Main. This has to be a trade from Ospas, and he connects with the rocket.
Now we can double back. There's action over at B. Camo is in that site. Nat's also causing problems towards the top of mid, but Verno again! He's the kryptonite of the champion of old. Drop down to 4 with that spray. Harness Fury, though, has been developed.
And it's going to be ripped by Verno as the spike gets tapped. Team Liquid wanted to bait this out. You still have Ospas in B-Main. Oh, that connection was close. Ospas is a little bit weak, and he is biding his time. Team Liquid, they would love to be able to push for some space together rather than feeling encircled in sight. Was that just spray? Pure spam through. Verno only had 3-4 HP.
That's kind of devastating. Verno could still have been such a threat from that Boba position. Camo's still watching for it, but the moves are here in main and market respectively. Shannon wants to head up towards Boba, but Camo is stuck on that line. It's going to be a tough fight for him to win. Aspas gives himself away now. Great paranoia for Shannon to get him, and Aspas is dealt with. He would have had to find 3. And Kiko again slaps down.
With the aim still just looking too clean for Kiko. Unfortunate that Verno was just on such low HP after one of those previous engagements. I mean, that unbelievable quick tap on such a tight angle from Serial.
Aspas, he just didn't know what was set up on the site.
I think MIBR made some good positional decisions in that round, taking B-Main after realizing and seeing that Camo's through top mid. They could be pressuring through market as well. We need space somewhere. Let's fight B-Main, but Serial going 1-for-1 there is huge.
Inferno is able to light the side up with some of that Sova Util. That goes differently, but still. Group up here towards this B-side lobby for TL.
And now just on account of the MIBR round wins coming down to primarily Verno clutches, look at their economy. They were on a multi-round win streak and they have nothing to show for it.
Cortezia, though, is able to look into pressure towards that cam position. And obviously one will be set up behind Liquid. One look and all will be a reveal. Cortezia just snarled up though in an engagement in front of main, and it's going to be the Outlaw that claims him. Into the site we go here. MIBR happy to give it up. Rather have no real choice without Cortezia.
This is Verno with just a classic.
Stinger for Shenom. It's looking ugly there in terms of the arsenal.
I like this from TL. Tap the spike. Let's try and get some util out, see if they swing into us.
Spike planted.
Play it safe. All right, and now we can get the spike down. Now we can position.
This is what Aspas wanted last round. A recon to try and set him up. Nothing was shown from it, and here's Nats. Happy just to play out in the open by main. Doesn't see Verno cross. He's been revealed. The timing was there. Serial dealt with him comfortably. Stinger and Sheriff now to go for it for MIBR. They grouped up, and Nats is going to go looking. Punished for that. Outlaw unrecoverable though, and so is the round as far as MIBR concerned. Shannon found a second, but eventually TL just overload that market.
Nats is just one of those players that you're always going to see take advantage of the Outlaw on that attack side. Just loves to recognize these situations, excuse me, where it's going to get the most value, take advantage of it. MIBR are going to be fully investing into this round. Both teams not totally out of the woods economically, but this one for TL, they'll have another buy even if they lose here. This is a round where Nats still has that Viper's Pit.
Camo wastes no time in pushing towards his A side. That overdrive at the ready. Rifle though in hand. Clear that util, more than happy to be the blunt object to try and crack A open, but he's just the solo player. He can sell ice to an Inuit. Shannon cleans him out, but now MIBR realize the action really is over on B, but it's a Viper's Pit post plant already set up. Short-handed as TLR. They've got strong defensive positions.
That was a great trade from Verno. That flash was used early. I'm not sure if our team was able to connect. Okay, just spam through. Normally with a pit down, that's a no access to sight moment, but Verno comes up.
He's not done either. Serial here trying to play from lobby. Serial killer, they call him, but Cortezia able to fight back here for MIBR. They waited on this ability to buy back into the game. It's a costly one for them, but Verno once again delivers the death blow. 3 kills and a Viper's Pit destruction.
That was the definition of must-win for MIBR, and they come up. Verno is just that guy for this team right now. Finds the trade onto Patatek. All right.
Player stand.
Going to be satisfied with that little play.
But that is emblematic of the changes made to Sunset. You no longer have that kiosk to hide behind when you're trying to play post-plant there
We mess up a bit on the buyback.
in B main. So Verno can actually spray at those defenders where they're set up. Characteristic, look,
Just
I'll never
going to
forget.
have to be completely changed today.
that 4-player swing into Foxy on Haven, where they just get gunned down with poor spacing on that multi-swing. That one lives in my head rent-free.
Standard stuff with this Gecko on defense. Just throw up the early Dizzy, see if there's going to be quick pressure on this A side. If it's forced to be shot with this Cloud, that's going to give a good opportunity for Team Liquid to cross and then double face as the smoke drops in case someone from MIBR was playing close.
Shannon second guesses himself there and opts not to overextend. Kiko likely was watching that line and still is. But into halls is the rest of TL. 3 players getting a lot of map control, and no one's watching from alley here, Wyatt.
This wall from Nats is so cool. They basically just give up Link. They're going to let Serial play on that side late. Send everyone through elbow. We have most of the angles cut off. Matter of fact, let's just contact in.
Oh, wait a minute. Was Aspas trying to get up on the box there?
Probably for the best he didn't, because he was getting spammed through.
Maybe he just thought better of it not to. Into the side they are. Paranoia really hitting hard. Confusing here for Artazine. Camo now will look to step out. Some good old-fashioned fights here, and it's, of course, blood for halls. So TL don't have to overextend. There's no undue risks that need to be taken here. Nats, though, getting chunked low with this wallbang spam. Inferno again is the one that puts MIBR on the board in this round. All out into the sun they go! And Patatek will end the round. That was about as elegant as MIBR could possibly be with time not on their side.
They're just thrown into such disarray, trying to work around that wall that Nats has up. Yeah, this was a miss, but again, I think for the best. Kimo immediately started spraying up top when he heard the satchels and would have died there.
Maybe a fake, yeah.
But when MIBR actually get into the site, they don't have any smoke for, being thrown down elbow because Shannon was blinded up, died trying to go through the wall, and then everyone's just stuck in awkward positions. It's resulted in MIBR's economy being broken again. They've got a couple Guardians, sure. I mean, honestly, throw one of those over to Verno. I'm gonna be real. Like, Verno is the one keeping them in this game.
You need to dap my boy up, and you need to give him everything he asks for. Give him the Supermax. Cycling that smoke top mid again, TL have started to take control of that part of the map. Again, it's, like you said, 2 Guardians. Relay Bolt catching on to Aspas. Camo, though, respects the paint shells, but he's going to duck back into market. He's feeling it.
That shock dart breaks the tripwire. MIBR have been pressed back into more passive positions, so they can assume that Team Liquid are just walking into market right now, slowly, silently.
That cam from Cortesi is designed to be able to look into B main as well. Rid of Kiko. Spraying through the dark cover here is MIBR trying to slow the game down, but Camo's gotten in and onto the side. This is now a problem. All of MIBR playing from Boba. They might try and flood in on off timing. It is Aspas leading the way. Shannon was able to get there with the classic Serial under pressure, but takes his. Now a beat, a break in the action. Reloads, Aspas a little bit low. Shot down, takes Serial down to 10, and Shannon converts. It's just Nats. No plant yet for TL. TP from Shannon heard as he gets back into Boba, and he shows a little bit of leg.
Spotted out, drone going to come in from Verno. Nats forced to dodge that for now. The Sova has not been able to recover a decent weapon. He's just got the classic Verno versus Nats again.
Verno shoulder piece here, Nats is ice cold! He's ice cold! He's just got enough time to find the plant. Gets it in. Will be spotted out by Verno. It's time to fight. Verno is 35, very low, but he has to drop on Nats, who's watching the other corner. Ring around the rosy, but Nats now is convinced that this is the line he's looking for! Ice cold, Red Bull clutch straight out the freezer. Beautifully done. Another TL round that hurts MIBR's soul.
Vengeance for Nats after being denied a couple rounds by Verno earlier. It has been just a face-off between one of the greats of all time and one of the future greats in Verno.
He has it down to the second.
If you want something done right,
Every aspect of that 1v2 was calibrated and refined over years of play. Not even close, baby.
Oppa, oppa, oppa. Sorry.
Just another day in the office for Nats. I feel like back in the day of all time, but man, that would put him up there.
Round 11 just around the corner, and MIBR are bought up for it. They're ready to go. Verno's been put in a lot of these clutch situations, and in 1v1s against Nats has looked better at times. It's the rounds they're chasing Wyatt. They've been sorely looking for these conversions.
Out of this timeout, MIBR mixing things up for the first time, going for an aggro push right down mid. Serial might have spotted someone barely on the cross. It's hard to tell, but it's in. What is that? Just spray through the smoke?
I mean, they challenged the one-way. Team Liquid. I guess, yeah, there's a smoke at Link, so he just played through that.
Yeah, did the
nutty timing.
Did the dark cover not go down in time, Serial? Right. It's TL back in the round, but Shenham fast on the trade.
I mean, you never expect this, right? MIBR flipped the map. Many of them playing over towards that tiles position still. Adesino has fallen all the way back to spawn. He knows the game plan is to give up this part of the map and go for a later crunch. That attack on the walk. Does he realize there are 3 players coming? Paranoia is going to force him off the line anyway. Paint Shell, he wants to challenge ahead of it, but then doesn't see a target, so back to box he goes. Nico hit by the Dizzy, flattened Adesino. Beautiful, man. Finds a perfect timing to come back into the back four for Adesino. MIBR, man, that timeout really went a long way. That was definitely an audible that Front called.
100%. Great decision to mix something in like that late in this half. All of those kills in the defuse. Artzin now with that Thrash for the final round too. Yeah, they just push around the corner.
Too early.
Yeah, a little bit too early. A dark cover came later. Of course, you know, they're doubled up, so they're hoping they can get the kill, but they were perfectly lined up. Making that all too easy.
All things considered, it's felt like a slog for MIBR, but it's just a one-round game here heading into the last of the half. And they've come in drips and drabs. That round 3, 4, 5 string for MIBR, crucial. Getting some even footing now on this defense side.
We've seen this before. Wait out the Dizzy, throw down the Cloud, and then a couple players pop out at the same time for the double face. This time it's Camo with a Bucky, though. They want to get into elbow. Shenham eyes on it.
Safer line, he's not one and done. Tark, but Camo doesn't care. Slides on in, detained though. Will there be a double swing? Yes, Adesino overwhelmed. So the player advantage stands with TL.
Verno wants to get into the side. It looks like he wants to manifest an opportunity to at least find 1 kill, bring this into a 3v3 for the retake.
From the shadows there from Keiko. Back with the rest of the team now. Smoke to the top box of Ali, but Cortezia will play just on the vestiges of it. See Keiko coming! They've overestimated themselves, Team Liquid.
Spike down A.
A bit of a misassumption made about the position of the Cypher, and it's punished eventually. They bring Cortezia down. Verno's comfortable in his element, you'd think. Serial's able to pluck him out.
Oh, he just assumed another player wouldn't be coming from elbow.
This is now Aspas' chance to show us where the heck he's been all week.
30
A
seconds.
1 versus 1, and he's dealt with by Serial. A 7-round half for Liquid. And an anemic performance by the Rays in the clutch.
MIBR were at such an advantage in that round. Things got sloppy for TL entering into the site. 1v1s going either way. A lot of clutches here.
Another close map. Much hinges on the pistol in that second half, so stay tuned for that one. We'll be back after this.
Esports is a
To the more traditional Rays look. Still waiting. We're still waiting to see him light this stage up, and maybe we don't get it at all.
From MIBR, this is looking like a classic B hit and Legion. Well, okay, well, Cypher's left in the dirt on tiles, actually. That is so tough. Artzin now trying to scale into sight. Recon going in the back, Dizzy through the wall. Can anyone actually capitalize off of it?
Going for it, doubles back though, doesn't like what he sees, and that's because there's 4 players from TL looking straight at them. A veritable firing squad set up by the EMEA team, and Serial goes from strength to strength. Verno gets his and more, that's the question. It's Shenham down at 2. 0 pistols for MIBR as Team Liquid get another one. Widen the lead to 3. and start to tighten the thumb screws on this floundering NA squad.
Cortezia just takes an early peek through tiles, walks right into a double face there. Patatek nets the kill. Opted to go a bit earlier, try to get a kill. You know, could have alternatively chosen to take it very slow.
Show me your hat, show me your hat.
Man.
You are a cipher hat, Nafi.
Bro can't just ask for a milady tip your hat in the current year? Come on, Zero, get with the program. So too busy just feasting on these pistol frags.
MIBR have had enough of losing pistols. Why not try some success on a round 2 force instead?
It's an America's force for an America's roster. Aspas will lead the way quietly, just communicating that there's nobody here in elbow whatsoever.
Team Liquid happy to have 3 players ready on this A site on account of the Cypher setup towards B, some passive info gain towards B main. Cam watching towards tiles, jiggle peek from Nats in mid. Team Liquid don't really have to budge over on this site.
Patatek has started to reassume control into this A site. Expecting here that some anchoring could be required. He is yapping.
There are pings going down on the map right now from MIBR. Dizzy ready to be thrown over top. Should connect onto Patatek unless it gets broken, but when they come out of elbow, Kiko is on the perfect angle to get an opener.
Crossfire broken up though. This is scary for Patatek. He's hit with the paranoia, but oh, Aspas taken down. Kiko's on the box, and that wasn't smoked for. 1 for 1. Shannon Sheriff claims him, but Camo now is dug in and ready to deliver.
Last
Cortezia,
player standing.
first casualty in the last round, now has to go big to clutch it. Just a stinger. Almost enough for Nats, but not quite. Camo exits with 3. And now it's a 4-round game.
I believe that dark cover from Shannon was just thrown down to cover the entire crossover towards spawn side. It's not in the one-way. So Kiko gets that opener. Fair enough, MIBR multi-swing to find that trade. But then they're at such poor ranges with the weapons that they've got. No real effort to fight towards Link, draw attention from the other TL players away.
That mid-rounding for Patatek was sick. He was jabbering at a mile a minute, and look at, they anchored that site after initially playing off of it.
And they just had no reason to leave. They had full passive info defensively across the entire rest of the map. Got a lot of shares for MIBR. Can they do anything here? Oh my god, what? Sure.
Okay. Just a tickle. Turns into a 41 health Shannon and easily dominated by Patatek. Aspas down again. Verno's low after these early exchanges. And the Viper wall gets toggled yet again. MIBR. See what the Brains Trust have to put together. IGL Artazine still on the scene. But your options are becoming more and more and more limited. Okay.
TL just happy right now to play in the death ball formation, give up A if they need to, go for the retake, face together mid. They're making this easy. They're going to make it look effortless unless Cortezia lives up to the headshot machine name.
Relay bolts for Camo. Into that space. Don't need to do too much here for TL. Just keep MIBR on their toes. No hurry. Oh, jeez, okay.
30 seconds left.
Somebody alert Peter. That was brutal.
That's just patient on this angle. Artson dealt with, and Cortezia shut down. Not a whole lot of damage for MIBR across these past couple rounds. Team Liquid carrying over so many weapons. Economy bolstered again.
Is that, yeah, this shock dart. Like 100 damage worth there. Perfectly placed. Makes the Bulldog conversion all too easy. Camo. He hears a shot fired off and swings it. Yeah, this is just great fundamentals. I mean, for MIBR, what is this? Season 1 of Attack on Titan? Where's the catharsis for these guys? It's all doldrums all the time on this attack side.
Camo has picked up the Bucky and wants to tuck close over towards elbow.
Please, MIBR.
I mean, there could be a drone to clear this out from Verno or a recon. Dizzy, oh, that ult is great.
Okay. Good fast lane to get off the line. Needs to still find a good application for that Bucky, but comes out of that engagement unscathed.
Artson getting pretty close to the Thrash. Team Liquid, they have 3 players here again.
Walking this again. Okay. Oh shit, I'm punished for going for the orb. Nat's ready to cover.
Spike
That is
down
just
A.
centimeter perfect.
These trades are just coming too slow from MIBR. The swings are getting watched for. I mean, I'm sorry. What? How has that timing occurred? Maybe Cortesia can be the hero. MIBR, they want to pivot over towards him, but Verno's facing in mid.
Okay.
Beautiful tap.
A multi-face coming out of Verno, though. Look at that cool calm collector, but couldn't quite convert. Still evens up the game with Cortesia. A wedge driven in between TL and that B side they hope to defend.
Verno maintaining hero status
30 seconds
for
left.
MIBR. It has been him keeping them in this game.
Kid is unreal.
It has been all about him. His clutches, his taps, open facing multiple players. This has to be converted by the duo of Aspas and Cortesia.
Surely you can expect Aspas to step up and land this plane.
Grenade!
Into market.
Last player
Swings it, and there it is. Nuts is handled. Kiko's are good for this. He's more than up for it. 12 and 8 over the course of the game. But Cortesia and Aspas are doubled up for it. Little swing, little peek. There it is. MIBR get one finally. It's costly, but hey, they're in the game. Their head is above water.
You can still hear them screaming from the stage, even being down like this. And barely getting this round win. I mean, this is some awkward stuff happening in Elbow. Verno, multiple players. Looked like he was even on for the third. With the aim going pretty awry for Nats.
And at that point, Verno's assuming that TL are probably scrabbling to deal with, Cortesia, who's gotten in there to Boba. Good intuition. MIBR having to pay dearly for each one of these rounds.
Kiko was able to avoid that recon, so he's still set up with Camel Paranoia into the relay. Ball up, just Fury as well.
More, they want more.
Beautiful trap play to find an early advantage. Look at Nats even walking down mid into tiles.
And the spike is loose on the wrong side of the one-way. Aspas has to find a way to recover him. Nats on that walk.
And he's just thinking, why is he even here? Patatek timing Shenham with the jiggle peek. Cortesia wondering how he's ended up in this situation, 1 versus 4, against a team who effectively could be anywhere on the map.
It seems like they are at all times. Nat's like a bona fide sleep paralysis demon turning up when you least expect him. Cortesia obviously has a very straightforward objective. Do everything you can to dig your team out of a desperate spot. This cross to the spike location, of course, will be watched by Kiko. Cortesia has a sense for it too. And he doesn't know who's waiting
30
by
seconds
elbow out in the open. There's no information and surely no hope. But now, Cortesia has allowed TL to get close enough that there's a real risk of him losing this gun.
He does just want to save, but if you look at the cash for TL, they don't really want to hunt right now. They are pretty low.
Cage triggered.
So they'll be content to just win this out and
10 seconds left.
let Cortesia live to see round 18. The rest of the team won't be able to get too much anyhow with Artzin being pretty low.
Foolish.
All right, good shot.
All right.
Stay alive.
Cortesia lives to see another Fire and Brimstone Dawn here on Sunset, but it's still an ugly situation for this America's #3 seed.
How cool is this on the replay? Initial contact taken from Camel. That goes into a Paranoia with the Hunter's Fury. And then when all of that presence is seen from the defense as to MIBR being in A main, Nats just slowly walking down mid, playing behind that Viper wall that cuts off the sight line to tiles. Aspas on the run, wondering, why is this guy here?
Like, does he have
How
ghost mode
is he here? Liquid on the precipice of getting their first win here in Toronto with the return of Nats. This could get them to match point. From there, within touching distance of the victory.
Gonna be a rare cameo appearance for Thrash here for Artazine. Has not been able to develop many of those Gecko ultimates this game.
Oh yeah! Monster on
They're gonna use it to try and clear into market first and foremost. Paranoia comes out though by TL to slow up MIBR from filtering in behind it, but they're still gonna assume this space. 2 players in Boba, 1 anchoring the site for TL.
TL are trying to get actually back into the site right now very quickly, playing around Nats Viper wall. Man should be able to get the spike down.
Serial heard the pitter-patter little feet, but had to respect the mosh pit at his own.
Thrash isn't done with you!
Another Thrash usage here, a reprise performance. Trapwire caught. Looks like he gets to the back of the site. Nats is taken out. Kamoki with an outlaw. Can't quite connect enough of that damage. And all the ultimates employed by MIBR. This was their Hail Mary round. And it looks like they're set to convert. Aspas with the fadeaway shot on Panatek, and Camo's outlaw has a fair bit of application here, but it's a stacked deck against the EMEA squad. Camo dealt with. MIBR once again come up for air in a flawless round.
Credit to Coach Fraud. Both timeouts, they win the subsequent round. Just going for that fast, heavy ult play through market into B. I want to mention again, if we haven't spoken enough about Verno, feels like every single Hunter's Fury he's had is converted into a kill. Again, kills Kiko there.
Yeah, on Icebox, I mean, they were stunningly set up by our drones. That was Thrash, you know, made use of by twice. That space was cleared for MIBR to get a good foothold in market, and Nats was caught crossing. Round 19 now, TL still a couple away from a series take. MIBR have got to double down.
Something we have seen from Shannon before when he has the From the Shadows is he will send it into the defender spawn. He's actually punished for that by Gen G. That, yeah, a little bit unlucky. Don't think that Dizzy will
call
be
the fire department.
recovered. Does someone have a ladder? Cortesia at bay on account of this one way that, I mean, TL are just so happy to fight off the back of it. They are showing no fear.
And they could refresh that as they're about to. Kiko sets up yet another rotation of dark cover on that one-way spot. MIBR, though, might look to just fight it. Camo's playing up close. Smacks of a one and done, but he's got the speed to get out of the smoke at the very least.
The thing is, the existence of that Bucky is pushing the rest of the team into Liquid, who are stacked up, market and mid.
Nat's got one kill in market now, falls back to the B side. TL, how do they get Camo involved with this Bucky? Nat's mid-rounding now. Kiko, what a timing. Aspas again perched up on the kiosk when the 10 spot is taken down, and Nats has an opportunity here to really ruin the day.
30 seconds left.
It's just Verno again. How much can you ask this guy to do? Kiko shuts him down, and TL are one round away from an important match win here. And a chance of playoff still.
The fundamentals from Liquid there are just lovely. Look at the way that they're repositioning for each other around that site. Kiko throws down the dark cover near jump up to pivot towards stairs. He gets that kill initially, and then Nats is in main. Nats gets traded, but Kiko was already repositioned to play off of him to fight the MIBR team who wanted to get through market.
And that's the kind of intuition we've just not seen from MIBR when it's counted. It's faster play towards A, apparently. Kamen wants to go back to that position. Our drone, though, is going to force him to respect it somewhat more. So maybe a loosened grip on A for TL. Fast lane, Panatek that wants to hang around. He knows the death blow is there. The Damocles sword hangs above MIBR as they await their fate. Cortesia has to get them out of here. Neural theft to see Kiko and Serial lining up for a double face. Until the hope of Brazil is vanquished. A missing world champion for MIBR. And Nuts has arrived.